Have you ever wondered why some doors in life seem so difficult to open? Why some burdens feel heavier than others? Could it be that the key lies not in the effort you're making, but in the way you're seeking Allah's help? When you pray, are you truly present? Do you feel the weight of the words you recite? Or does it sometimes feel like your mind is elsewhere, caught in the struggles of this world? What might change if your prayer wasn't just an obligation, but your lifeline? Imagine a prayer that doesn't just check a box, but transforms your heart. A prayer that doesn't just fulfill a duty, but becomes the moment where it begins. Could it be that by improving your prayer, you're inviting Allah to ease your path in ways you can't yet see? Improve focus during Salah. Have you ever stood in Salah only to feel your mind wandering? Your lips reciting the words, but your heart elsewhere. Why does it happen? Why is it so hard to focus, even when you're standing before Allah? Our lives are filled with noise, tasks, deadlines, conversations, endless thoughts. And yet, Salah is meant to be a moment of silence, a sanctuary. But how do you silence the world around you when it feels so loud? How do you silence the world within? When you say Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest, do you feel it? Do you truly feel that nothing else matters in that moment? The stress, the worries, the chaos, they shrink before His greatness. But how often do we let those worldly concerns pull us away, even as we pray? What would it take to let them go? Imagine standing before Allah, truly standing before Him. Do you feel the weight of His gaze? Do you sense His presence? Or do you let the distractions of this fleeting world pull you away? What would it be like to fully focus on Him? To see Salah not as an obligation, but as a moment to connect. And sujud, the closest you can be to your Creator. What do you think about in that moment? Do you pour your heart out to Him? Or is it filled with fleeting thoughts? Could it be that we struggle to focus because we haven't yet realized what Salah truly means? Could it be that it's not just about the actions, but the connection? Kuzu isn't about perfection, it's about trying. It's about quieting the noise, even when it feels impossible. It's about reminding yourself, again and again, why you stand, why you bow, why you prostrate. And maybe it's about accepting that some will never understand the peace you find in those moments. The next time you pray, imagine standing before Allah, feel His greatness, His mercy. And when distractions come, let them pass, because in those moments, you are not just praying. You are conversing with the one who never grows tired of listening. Prioritize sincerity. Have you ever paused, just for a moment, and asked yourself, why do I pray? Is it out of habit, a sense of obligation? Or is it something more, something deeper? Every time you raise your hands in takbir and say Allahu Akbar, are you truly declaring Allah's greatness? Or are the words just passing through your lips? What does your heart whisper in those moments? Is it overwhelmed by love and awe for its Creator? Or is it weighed down by distractions of this fleeting world? Imagine standing before Allah not just in the quiet of your room, but truly in His presence. Every word you utter, every movement you make, seen and heard by the one who knows you better than you know yourself. It's not always easy, is it, to pray only for Him, to strip away the need to impress others, to break free from the chains of routine. And yet, in that struggle, isn't there beauty? Isn't there a chance to rediscover Salah not as a task, but as a moment of devotion that soothes your heart? What would it feel like if every time you prayed, it was as if you were pouring your heart out to the one who never grows tired of listening? to stand before him with no pretense, no expectation of praise from anyone but him, just you and your Creator, nothing more, nothing less. And if you could reach that state true sincerity, what might it change? Would the world look at you differently? Would people misunderstand you, seeing your devotion as strange, even excessive? Could they question your motives, simply because they don't understand what drives your heart? Maybe. But does it matter? Perhaps sincerity in Salah isn't about being seen or understood by others. Perhaps it's about being known by the one who matters most. And if the world cannot comprehend that, does it mean you are wrong? Or does it mean you are walking a path that not everyone is ready to see? Ask yourself, why do I pray? And let that answer shape your every step forward. Understand the meaning of Salah. When was the last time you truly listened to the words you recite in Salah? The words that leave your lips 5 times a day. Do they hold meaning for you? Or are they simply sounds, familiar but distant, uttered out of obligation? When you recite Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, all praise belongs to Allah, Lord of all the worlds, what do you feel? Does your heart fill with gratitude, or does the meaning slip past, lost in the rush of your day? If these words truly reached your heart, how might they change your perspective on everything you've been blessed with? Imagine for a moment you're speaking to Allah directly. Each verse, each phrase, not just recited, but understood. What if every word carried the weight it was meant to hold? Would your Salah feel different? Would your connection with Him grow stronger? Perhaps you've heard the words countless times. Words like Iyaka na'budu wa Iyaka nasta'in. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. But have you ever stopped to think? What does it mean to truly rely on Him, to seek His help above all others? Could that shift your heart, even in moments of doubt or fear? And if you began to grasp the meanings of these words, would it change how others see you? Would they misunderstand your devotion? Would they call it excessive, even unnecessary? Perhaps they might not like the way you seem so at peace, so unshaken. Could it be because they don't understand the source of your strength? When you bow in ruku, saying Subhana Rabbil Audium, glory be to my Lord, the most great, do you feel the weight of those words? Do they remind you of Allah's greatness, His vastness compared to the smallness of our worldly concerns? And if they did, how might your worries begin to fade, replaced by something far greater? Maybe understanding the meanings of your Salah isn't just about concentration. Maybe it's about unlocking a connection with Allah that transforms everything else in your life. And perhaps that connection might set you apart in ways the world doesn't always celebrate. Could it be that this understanding makes you unshakable, even in the face of those who don't see what you see? Every word, every verse, is an invitation to draw closer to Him. Perform Salah on time. Time. It slips through our fingers, doesn't it? Every second, every minute, gone before we even realize it. But have you ever wondered what does it mean to give a moment back to Allah? To pause everything, just to stand before Him. When the adhan calls, what do you feel? A pull to stop what you're doing? Or a voice telling you, just a few more minutes? Do you find yourself caught in the tug-of-war between the world and the one who created it? Maybe you've been late to Salah before, rushing through the motions, hoping to catch the final rak'ah, only to feel like something was missing. Did you ever stop to ask yourself, why? Why does it feel different when you pray on time? Why does it bring a peace that's hard to describe? Imagine starting your day with Fajr not hurried or delayed, but in its time. That moment when the world is quiet, and it's just you and Allah, do you think it's possible that those early moments of devotion could change the course of your entire day? That the blessings of punctual Salah could ripple into everything else you do? When you hear the call, do you respond immediately? Or do you let the minutes pass, hoping to squeeze it in later? What might change if you didn't wait, if you made Allah's call the priority, above all else? How often do you delay it, consumed by the busyness of the day? But what if, instead, it became the final seal of your day, a moment to thank Allah for everything? Would it bring you a peace that the world could never offer? Praying on time isn't always easy. It might set you apart. It might make people question you, even dislike you, because they don't understand why you pause your world for Him. But could it be that this act, this devotion, makes you stronger in ways they cannot see? When the call to prayer comes again, what will you do with that moment? Will you let it pass, or will you seize it, knowing that time itself is a gift from Allah? Maintain physical purity. Have you ever thought about the water you use for wudu? How it cleanses not just your hands, but your soul. Each drop washing away mistakes, preparing you for a meeting unlike any other. Do you feel it, or has it become just a routine? Every movement in wudu, every step in cleansing, carries meaning. Yet, how often do we rush through it? Splashing water, mind elsewhere, our hearts distant. Have you ever wondered, what if your wudu was performed with intention, with mindfulness? Could it change the way you feel when you stand for Salah? And what about the clothes you wear for Salah, the space you choose to pray? Do they reflect the sacredness of what you're about to do, or are they just there? What if, instead, you saw them as part of your preparation to stand before Allah? Would it bring you closer to Him? Imagine standing in front of a king. Would you wear just anything? Would you not take a moment to prepare, to present yourself in the best way possible? Now, think about standing before the King of all kings. How might it change the way you approach Tahara, your attire, your surroundings? Tahara, it's more than just physical purity. It's a preparation of the heart, the soul. And maybe, just maybe, it's not meant to be understood by everyone. Perhaps it's a quiet reminder that your Salah, your connection with Allah, is yours alone. So the next time you make wudu, the next time you lay out your prayer mat, pause. Feel the water, the cleanliness, the sacredness of what you're about to do. Because in those moments, you are not just preparing your body, you're preparing your soul. When you take the time to connect with Him, to pour your heart into every word, do you ever wonder, what might He unlock for you? What challenges might He make lighter? What paths might He make clearer? And yes, perhaps not everyone will understand. Some might see your devotion and call it unnecessary, even strange. But does it matter? When you have the one who listens, the one who understands, the one who eases all things, could their opinion ever outweigh His mercy? Your prayer is your refuge, your strength. And maybe, just maybe, it's the beginning of ease you've been waiting for. Will you take that step? Improve your prayer. Find His ease.